İspanya'da kalmaya devam ediyoruz. Jose Maria Aizega sahnedeki yerini az sonra alacak. Kendisi Basque Culinary Center'ın yani Bask Yemek Merkezi'nin baş ismi. Bu merkez aslında çok önemli bir merkez. Çünkü gastronomi ve mutfak sanatları alanında resmi derecesi bulunan ilk gastronomi okulu olma özelliğini taşıyor. Aizega da bu merkezin hem kurucusu hem de öncüsü olarak bizlerle birlikte olacak. Şimdi sunumunu yapmak üzere Jose Maria Aizega'yı sahneye davet ediyorum.
Good afternoon. First of all, thank you very much to Gastromasa'da for this invitation. Thank you, government, and congratulations for the great work you are doing. I think Turkey is very lucky to have you as a gastro diplomat. I'm going to talk, of course, about inspiration. And I would like to start explaining what inspires us. We are a center dedicated to gastronomy. This is one photograph of our building. A center created 10 years ago as an international center to develop the potential of gastronomy. Nowadays, we are a faculty of gastronomic sciences with 600 students from 32 countries, a research and innovation center where 30 people working in research in gastronomy, and also we organize different events, different initiatives. We are located in San Sebastian, Basque Country, north of Spain. San Sebastian probably you know, but if you don't, it's a very gastronomic city, top destination, a strong gastronomic culture, top chefs, very vibrant community around gastronomy. So we are located there. So what is our inspiration? Why we created and why we are building like a project with so many different activities? I would say because we understand gastronomy in a very holistic, very wide way. It's written here, 360 degree, and it's like the base of our activity. I think in the last years, I would say the biggest change in gastronomy has not been the development of new techniques or the discovery of new products. It's the change in the meaning of the word gastronomy. Gastronomy as a word has changed, and it is important to be aware of that. I will try to explain that. From a social and economic perspective, gastronomy, for us, is a value chain. It's a chain that is integrated by different sectors. Of course, produce, it's a value chain, and integrated by produce, of course, farmers, fishermen, agriculture is part of gastronomy. Transformation is part of gastronomy. Part of the industry is gastronomy. Hospitality, of course, is part of gastronomy. And even in hospitality, in the last year is happening a big transformation. They are developing more and more diverse restaurants, more diverse projects from fine dining to casual, to formal, to very informal projects. So a lot also is happening in hospitality sector. The wine sector is also a big part of gastronomy. And also a lot of things are happening in the wine sector with young producers doing new varieties, looking back into traditions, into the terroir and developing new wines. A lot of innovation is happening in wine. And tourism, one of the biggest changes in the last years, also more and more, people are traveling to one specific place because the gastronomy. And even if it is not the main motivation, one of the main activities they do in destination is gastronomy. They eat, they drink, local products. And this, the World Tourism Organization has it very clear, is it will grow in the future. So tourism is also important for gastronomy, and it's happening that nowadays in many places we have like two main collectives of customers: the locals that are looking for one specific type of gastronomy or one offer, and the visitors that are coming to connect with the territory, with identity, with culture, with tradition. So it's important to be aware of that. All this from social and economic perspective, but also gastronomy is more. Gastronomy is a movement. I think some years ago, some decades ago, chefs started to connect with professionals from other sectors. I mean, because they were looking for new ideas, new perspectives, they started working with scientists, with different experts. Now is the way around. Now everybody's looking for gastronomy. Gastronomy has been able to create a movement that is attractive for companies, for scientists, for experts, that they are looking for the passion, the creativity, the innovation of gastronomy. And I think also what happened is a collective and multi-dimensional change, a multi-dimensional movement. Because, of course, we can say that chefs can be like the ones that have more visibility in gastronomy, but the movement is much wider. I would say that we have gone from an exclusive gastronomy of chefs into a social movement. Also, gastronomy is experience. We talk so much about gastronomic experience. I would say that essentially we want to say that gastronomic experience is more than eating and drinking. And nowadays, we make explicit, when we have the gastronomic experience, different messages: identity, territory, the people behind the food. So in the experience, there are other elements. At the end, I would say that pleasure is not only about senses. It is also about intellectual pleasure and even inspirational pleasure. Gastronomy is values. If it is such a wide sector, I think the ones which connect the sector are the values that we share. Of course, passion, excellence, of course, quality, creativity, innovation, authenticity, social development, more and more is going to be in the center of many new activities and initiatives in gastronomy. Science. I think an internal change, an internal transformation happened when chefs started working with scientists, with nutritionists, with physics, with anthropologists, with historians. And now we can say that gastronomy has been accepted as a science. I think Basque Culinary Center is also, can be a good example of this. And conversation. Gastronomy is also conversation. We know that what is not communicated doesn't exist. And I think gastronomy nowadays is a big conversation. This could be like the beginning of the conversation in the past and still exists, but now the conversation has gone very far from the table to the digital world, and new people have joined the conversation, and new ways of conversation are being used. We can say that nowadays gastronomy is a transmedia conversation. Books, television, internet, social media. There's so many people talking about gastronomy. So, with all that, we believe, and that is our inspiration, that gastronomy can be very relevant for a better future. So if we believe that, at the end, the question is, what can we do to increase the contribution of gastronomy? We ask ourselves this question, but also I think we can share this question. What can we do if we believe all this? First, we can promote these new dimensions of gastronomy, because this is pretty new. It's happening in the last years. It is still in the way of consolidation, so we can organize events, conferences, workshops in universities, in schools, connecting with society. We can promote that. For example, one initiative that we have done is the Basque Culinary World Prize. We created 4 years ago a prize to promote chefs taking action, chefs committing themselves in different social challenges. And in these 4 years, we have had 4 winners: Maria Fernanda from Venezuela, Leonor from Colombia, Joxe from Australia, and Anthony from United States. This last one this year. He's working against climate change, trying to mobilize the restaurant sector and gastronomy. So we can do a lot of things to promote these new dimensions. What more can we do? Research and innovation. There is a lot of things to do. We can work on gastronomy and health. We know that half of the chronic diseases in the world are caused by the way we eat. So we can work very much in the intersection gastronomy and health. Sustainable development. Come on, we know that the food production, food consumption, it's also very relevant, has a lot to do in the climate change. So we can work in how we work against food waste, circular economy. Also, part of the sustainable development is not to lose the cultural heritage. If we want to maintain biodiversity, also we have to maintain cultural biodiversity. So we have to do research, we have to publish books, we have to publish new contents about our heritage. And we can work also about cooking and science, because if gastronomy is a science, there is a lot of things to do. This is a dish from Mugaritz that was developed with a technological center, and after many scientific knowledge, this dish was served in restaurant Mugaritz, and also the result of this dish was published in a journal that I will show now, because at the end, cooking is the creativity we can work. It's very relevant in the evolution of gastronomy, but also we have to publish the results of our work. And again, after the initiative of Andoni, this journal was created among Mugaritz, ASTI, Tecnalia, and Basque Culinary Center. We are now editors of the only international journal on gastronomy. So we wanted chefs to publish their new developments in a scientific journal. That is very important to promote the evolution also of the future gastronomy. And also, this year we have created the first time ever PhD program in gastronomic sciences to promote research. Because, believe me, we have to do more research about gastronomy. There is a lot of things to do. And to finish, okay, we can promote new dimensions of gastronomy, we can do research and innovation, and what about education? Well, this is very important. At the end, education is the future. Education is a basic and key element of the evolution of gastronomy. So what we can do, we are educators, no? But what we can do, the educators in general, to educate the professionals of the future. First, I would say there are many professions in gastronomy, because we only think about chefs, but they are not the only ones. When a student comes to me and says, okay, I'm not sure if I don't want to learn gastronomy, I am passionate, but I'm not sure if I will fit, I answer normally, okay, if you are passionate, don't worry. There are so many professions. If chef, maître d', sommelier, manager, you can work in events, you can work on research, you can work in communication. There are so many possibilities in gastronomy nowadays. There's wow, incredible sector to have a professional development. And gastronomy needs talent, not only like manual workers, needs talent. And, well, I would say every sector needs talent. So we have the challenge, we are lucky because there are a lot of young people passionate about gastronomy. So that's the lucky part. But also we have a challenge. First, how we manage our teams in restaurants and in the sector, and also how we educate them. And our recipe for education is made by 3 elements. One is interdisciplinary education. Of course, in our degree, we give the interdisciplinary education, but it doesn't matter. If you are learning gastronomy in a school and you don't have interdisciplinary education, don't worry. If you have the curiosity, if you are open-minded, the information is everywhere. You can just look at the internet, go to the library, and there is so many interesting things to discover. Not only to focus in cooking and to do just this thing. Wow, there is a lot of things to discover. So my recommendation would be curious, open your mind, and explore all the potential and all the knowledge that is around gastronomy. So, but for us, this is important, interdisciplinary education. We give that to our students. Second, the best way to learn is to practice with real projects, with real challenges. That's the way as we learn. So it is very important to have the right practical learning when you are studying. And third, team working. I think it is important to have the skills of team working when you are studying, because at the end is the way we work I think in every sector, but also in our sector. But coming back, I was saying, okay, we are lucky because we have passionate students or passionate young people that wants to become professional. It would be interesting to think about which was the inspiration of young people 30 years ago. And 20 years ago, what was the inspiration to become a professional in gastronomy? And 10 years ago, and nowadays, what is the inspiration of young students to become professionals of gastronomy? So we have done a random selection in Basque Culinary Center, and I would like to show this video.
Lo que me inspira a mí al venir tal vez aquí a estudiar es el ámbito social, cultural y todo lo que tiene que envolver en materia de personas, propósitos, economía.
Creo que el que más me inspira es conocer los dos lados, que se conoce un restaurante, pero por el lado de dentro, estar ahí cocinando y también estar sirviendo al cliente. Entonces conoce cuál es la presión interna y cuál es la presión externa.
Gastronomy inspires me because I'm able to create good and tasty products for a lot of people.
Sono ispirato dalle persone, voglio cambiare le cose e il sistema di produzione del cibo, che sia più sostenibile e soprattutto più sano per la nostra popolazione.
Yo estudio gastronomía porque es una herramienta social, desarrollando proyectos para ayudar a las personas y al medio ambiente.
我想要环游世界，去看全新的事物，最后的时候决定属于我自己的菜肴。
Ni gastronomia mundutik interesatzen dit, Euskal Herriko bertako produktuak erabilita, behaiekin errezeta berriak sortzea, azkenenei sukaldatzea gustatzen zait, sukalden ibiltzea.
Turismo gastronómico es una forma de viajar muy auténtica y muy original. Te permite vivir experiencias mucho más cercanas al local.
So for me, gastronomy is science. I developed my career through the research and development of new products and new experiences.
Pues a mí la gastronomía me parece un arte que se puede usar para mejorar la calidad de vida de algunas personas, sobre todo aquellas personas pues, que se sabe que están en la sociedad como aquellas personas celíacas, intolerantes o alérgicas, pero que no se hace nada por ellas. Y me gustaría poder mejorar su calidad de vida y su seguridad.
Gastronomy inspires a connection with my environment and with those around me.
So I think it's quite impressive to see what inspires young people. And we will understand that gastronomy, in fact, has changed so much and means so diverse to so many that it's a real also opportunity for the future. And I will finish. Okay, with all this, I will leave you with a question. Well, it was here the presentation, but it's what inspires you? What is your inspiration in gastronomy? You can do so many things, so do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please stay on the stage because now I will be inviting someone. Ev Dışı Tüketim Tedarikçileri Derneği Başkanı Melih Şahinöz'ü davet ediyorum. Plaket